I am really glad you're here with me tonight. My name is Teresa, but my family call me Reese. I'm a certified YNAB coach and a certified financial coach, and I've completed the Dave Ramsey Financial Coach Master Training Program. But before any of the titles or my certifications or credentials, I want you to know this. I didn't come into this work because I always had my money together, or me and my husband, because I'm married, because we had our money together. Because guess what? We did not. But God placed a desire on my heart to help women with their money because I've lived the other side of it. I know what it's like to live paycheck to paycheck. I know what it feels like to normalize struggle, to quietly accept being okay with being broke because that was normal for us. I know what it feels like to carry financial stress while smiling on the outside but tore up girl on the inside. And I also know what changes when you finally gain clarity, when you stop surviving and you start stewarding what God has actually placed in your hand. This channel, Her Money with Reese, exists to help transform your money story, not with shame, not with pressure, but with wisdom, structure, and peace. My hope is that while you're here, you'll develop a healthy relationship with your money. You will make wise financial decisions and finally feel empowered instead of feeling overwhelmed. Tonight, we're talking about one of the most important foundations of financial peace. And guess what that is? Emergency funds. An emergency fund isn't something most people think about until life forces the conversation or the situation. But lately, the world has been reminding us why preparation it matters. We've recently seen Amazon announce layoffs affecting about 14,000 corporate employees. Like those are the ones that really make the big money. And UPS announced, I think last week, layoffs impacting roughly 12,000 workers. Now, I want to be very clear. This is not about fear. This is about awareness and wisdom. These are massive, profitable, well established companies. We're talking about UPS and Amazon. And if companies of this size are making cuts, it reminds us of something we don't like to say out loud. And usually we don't say it out loud. Income is not guaranteed. And that doesn't mean that you panic, it just means you prepare. An emergency fund gives you options. It gives you time. It gives you breathing room when life shifts unexpectedly. An emergency fund is not a vacation fund. It's not a Christmas fund. It's not a just in case I want something fun. An emergency fund is for a job loss or reduced income, medical bills, car repairs, home repairs, unexpected family needs. Without an emergency fund, guess what an emergency turn into? You got it. It turned into debt. With an emergency fund, emergencies stay temporary. This is not about being wealthy. This is about being stable with your money. I want to speak directly to the woman who's listening now, who is paying off debt right now. If you are aggressively paying down debt, but do not have at least 1 to 2 months of expenses saved, I want to just gently encourage you to consider pausing your debt pay off just temporarily. Because let me put a little bug in your ear. So, what I want you to realize, if you don't have an emergency fund, right? Or either you might have $1,000 emergency fund. If something happens, it's going to make you go back into debt. And once you pay these creditors the money that you owe them or the extra money that you're paying them to pay the money, to pay the debt off, guess what? You can't go back and get that money back because you've already paid the debt. I mean, you owed it to them. So it's not like they're going to give it back to you. So you need an emergency fund. Now, it's not quitting on paying off your debt, and it's not giving up. It's just pressing pause because debt can wait, but an emergency, it won't wait. You don't lose momentum by protecting yourself, you preserve it. So, I have 5 steps you can implement this month to help you start by March the 1st building your emergency fund. So, step one is I need you to choose a realistic starting goal. Okay, so your first goal is not 6 months. Your first goal, it may be $1,000 or one full month of expenses. Small wins build confidence. Now, I myself personally like to help you build momentum and to help you have confidence. I would say build, like at least $1,000 emergency fund. But what I recommend is like you need at least 1 month to 2 months of an emergency fund. So in the event you do lose your job, you have enough money to cover you for at least 1 or 2 months until you can find another job. So $1,000 for most of us will not help us live for a month or two. So when you're looking for a job, you don't want to get behind in your rent or your mortgage, and you don't want to get behind maybe in your car note. So I encourage you to try to at least set aside at least 1 month of living expenses for your emergency fund. Step two, I'm asking you to keep it separate. So if you keep it separate from your checking account, then you won't like spend it. So, but I want you to put it in an account where you have easy access to it. But I'm not talking about a debit card. I'm not talking about a checkbook for those of you who still may use a checkbook. I'm talking about, like in your account, you can just go maybe like in your major checking account and you could just transfer the money from your savings to your checking. But just don't do it unless it's actually an emergency. And so your emergency money is not invested. This money has one job, and that is to protect you in the event that you have an emergency. Step three, I want you to start small but stay consistent. You do not need large deposits to make progress. Start with $25 per paycheck or $50 per paycheck. Consistency matters more than intensity. Then redirect instead of restricting. Again, I say redirect instead of restricting. So look for money that you can redirect, not punish yourself over it once you redirect it now. So that could be one subscription, that could be one eating out habit, that could be one convenience expense like mm, I would say our spot Starbucks, that's a convenience expense because we could really make the coffee at home. So you're not depriving yourself, you're protecting your future. And step five, automate it. So if you set it up to be automate, it'll automatically come out of your check. That's what I recommend. If your job allows you to like set up different deposits of where your money goes after you get paid, then just set it up in your at your job to have $25 or $50 go to your high yield savings account or wherever you choose to save your money. So when saving doesn't rely on motivation, it actually works because you've automated it. You don't have to motivate yourself to do it. And I want to leave you with this. An emergency fund doesn't mean you expect something bad to happen. It means you refuse to let fear control your decisions in the event that it does. And I want you to remember what the word says too. It rains on the just and the unjust, and trials and tribulations, they will come, but we need to prepare for them, okay? So peace doesn't come from making more money. It comes from having margin. And you know what emergency fund does? It gives you margin. So if tonight encouraged you, please like my live video. Please subscribe to the channel and share it with another woman who needs peace around her finances. And if you're watching this and thinking, I need help figuring out my next step, the link in the description will tell you more about my financial clarity consultations. It's for single women and married couples, and we have a beautiful conversation. I'll give you tips on things that you can do immediately to start getting your money in order. We'll do this via a Zoom call. And once we are completed with our meeting, I'll send you the Zoom call. So, like maybe on a Saturday or a Sunday, if you want to go back and rehearse or listen to what we talked about to make sure that you didn't miss anything, it also comes with the Zoom conversation. It's a calm, judgment free conversation to help you move forward with, with confidence. And I want to let you know, like, regardless of what your account says, regardless of what your paycheck says, I don't want you to feel like you are behind. You're not behind. It's a mind game because as long as you're on this side of the earth, you're not behind. And if you feel like you are behind, what are you going to do to get ahead? You're not failing, you are preparing. And preparation is powerful. I mean, it's absolutely powerful. Now, here's a warm, confident way for me to invite you. I want you to be confident. I want you to know that my heart is warm and I want you to feel comfortable with your money because if you are used to being broke, if you're used to being paycheck to paycheck, how are you going to retire with dignity? How are you going to be a lender and not a borrower? That's what I want for you. And then I also want you to know that money, which is something that I had to learn, that's why I'm sharing this with you. Money is a tool. It's not meant for us to hoard it. It's not meant to represent who we are. Money is a tool, and it's more than about money. Money just brings out more of who we are. So just if you got nothing from me coming live tonight, which is this is my first live, and I came live because I want to press upon you how important it is to have an emergency fund. And yes, I may be rambling, but it's my brain is full, my heart is full, and if I could sit down at the table with you right now, I would express to you how important it is to have an emergency fund. You won't know how important it is until it actually happens to you. And don't think that it won't happen. It's happened to me, it's happened to me and my husband. And so the reason why I even created this channel is because my husband and I we got married when we were 22. We was broke. We didn't know anything about stocks. We knew nothing about retirement accounts. The only thing we knew is that we needed good credit, and as long as you had good credit, you didn't need nothing else. Well, I'm here to tell you that's a lie. And that's a lie from the pits of hell because if you got good credit and you don't have no money, you know what the good credit going to do? It's just going to keep making you go into debt. Get yourself an emergency fund. Please get yourself an emergency fund. And so, being live, I just wanted you to be able to get a better sense of who I am and what I stand for and why I am here. I am here because I don't want you to lay awake on your pillow and wet your pillow with midnight tears because you don't have that to do. If God has blessed you with an income, He has also given you the intelligence and the wisdom to live within that income. But better yet, I'm telling you to live below your means. And that starts with having an emergency fund. The only way you're going to really be able to build up an emergency fund if you're already living check to check is you're going to have to figure out how to live beyond below your means. And if there's no way for you to live below your means because you've already maxed out what you've been getting, then you're going to have to come up with another way. You're going to have to cancel something, or you might have to get a part time job for 90 days. But just do whatever it takes to get your emergency fund up. And then just to bring it on home before I let you go tonight, when I say get an emergency fund, you need an emergency fund, especially like if you're a single mom and you need to have your children in childcare, you need to have that money saved for at least a month or two so that in the event you lose your job, you can continue to take your children to childcare so that you can go to that interview. If you don't have an emergency fund, How are you going to cover your child care? How will you be able to go and look for a job without a buffer? I can't stress this enough. And so if you are here live listening to me, or if you're on the replay listening to me, you're not here by accident. Is God telling you to get yourself an emergency fund? Because I'm telling you, if you're watching the bad news, your life can change instantly. It can change within a matter of minutes. You can think things are going well for you, and the next thing you know, you're getting a phone call, or either you're getting a diagnosis, something strange happens, and you might have to take a leave from work. Well, when your PTO times run out, are you going to have money coming in? So it's you have to protect yourself. You have to give yourself peace. You have to give yourself margin. And when my husband and I first got married, I wet my pillow many a nights with midnight tears that I did not want him to know that that's what I was doing. So that's why I'm here. Your pillow don't have to be wet with midnight tears because you're worried about money. You're worried about how you're going to pay the bills. You're worried about, oh my gosh, this emergency came up. I need $700 to do A, B, C, or D. If only. I want you to live a life with no regrets. So please, if you're here listening, figure out how you can get your emergency fund. Okay? So before you go, and before I go, I want to invite you to stay connected here. If this conversation moved you or encouraged you or gave you clarity about how important it is to get an emergency fund, I'm asking you to please subscribe to this channel. I need your help. I need your support. I need the algorithm to push me out so that this content and the information that I am providing can get to the people who need it. Y'all, I'm telling you, people who are living in small communities and raised by people who didn't know any better, they need to get this content. YouTube is all over the world. My husband and I, we left knowing nothing about money except living paycheck to paycheck. As long as you had enough money to pay your bills, you was fine. But y'all, that's not the way we're supposed to live. So please subscribe. Help the algorithm know that I'm here. Leave a comment. Give me a thumbs up. Hit that notification bell. I just don't want other women and young couples to go through what we've gone through, y'all. I want you to be able to retire with dignity. Honestly, I don't want you to have to work until when the world says you have to work until. You have the power and you have the gifting to create and design your own financial future. It's not too late. I don't want you to miss any future conversations about money, peace, and wisdom and financial decisions. So please share this, subscribe, and if you have a friend or someone that you know, send the video to her. Maybe she'll subscribe. And I would also love to hear from you below. Leave me a comment. Let me know if you have an emergency fund. Let me know how hearing my heart has touched your heart regarding the importance of an emergency fund. And you can also put down one step in the comments of what you're going to do this month in order to get your emergency fund set up. So I will say to you, thank you for watching the replay. If you're watching the replay, thank you for being here with me live if you're live. And I just want to say to you that my heart is with you, that God has placed this on my heart to do. And until He says stop, I'm going to show up here for you. My videos come out every Thursday at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. So please hit that notification button so that when it does come out, you'll know that I'm here. So again, look at the things that are happening around you. Look at all these companies that are laying off. Don't operate in fear, operate in wisdom. I don't know the scripture by heart, but you can go to Google and look it up for yourself. The ant saves in the summer so that when winter time comes, he has a harvest that he can pull from. So if an ant that small has that much knowledge, God has given us big brains with a lot of wisdom. Let's do what the ant does. While we have our income, while God has us with health and strength, let's save for the winter days. Let's save for an emergency. So, again, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. Share this video, like it, subscribe it. Until I am live again, I'll see you the next time, but be on the lookout for my video that will be released on Thursday at 6 p.m. Thanks again. God bless you. And until we meet again, thanks again for watching. Toodles.